Question: what is given? A sum of money lent at a certain rate of interest under compound interest amounts to 1,25,000 at end of 3 years and to 1,95,000 at end of 5 years. What is the sum of money? So now what he says, amount A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100. Amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. Now a certain sum of money lent at a certain rate of interest amounted to, that's amount. So it is 1,25,000 is equal to principal we don't know into 1 plus rate of interest we don't know, number of years is 3 years. Similarly, we have 1,95,312.5, that's amount, principal is P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power 5. So, you have two equations, this is equation 1, this is equation 2. So, what you do is now, divide equation 2 by equation 1. So, you will be getting 195,312.5 divided by 1,25,000 is equal to, PP get cancelled, so you will get 1 plus R by 100 whole power 2. This is what you will be getting it. Now when you are simplifying this, you will get this as 1.5625 is equal to 1 plus R by 100 whole square. The moment you look at 1.5625, now we actually observe, yes, this involves some calculations. In this kind of case, you can either use the calculator, or if you observe here 125. 125 is nothing but 1000 divided by 8. So you have to multiply this 195,312.5 into 8. Okay, then you will get it as 15625. Okay, now if you observe here 15625, it is nothing but 125 square. How to get it 125 square? Let us look at here. 125 square. Okay, number is ending in 5, so 5 square is 25. 12, the next higher number is 13. So 12 into 13 is 156. 15625. So it is nothing but 125 square. 125 or 1.25 square. 1.25 is nothing but 1.25 is nothing but what we can write as 5 by 4. So 125 square is nothing but I can write it as 1.25 whole square is nothing but 1 plus R by 100 whole square, or 1.25 is nothing but 1 plus R by 100. This 1.25 we can write as how much here? 5 by 4. So 5 by 4 is equal to 1 plus R by 100, or 1 by 4 is equal to R by 100. So rate of interest is 25%. Rate of interest is 25%. But are we interested in 25%? No, we are interested in the sum. So here, if you take the value of R and substitute in this equation, so this will be how much here? 25%, that is 1 by 4. So how much you get here? 1 by 4 plus 1, that is 5 by 4. Okay, so simplifying this, how much you get here? 1,25,000 is equal to P into 5 by 4 whole cube, that's nothing but 5 cube is 125 divided by 64. So it goes here 1000 times 1000 into 64 is 64,000. So what is the amount borrowed? Is nothing but 64,000. Okay, let's move to the next question. In the next question, what it says, the compound interest on a certain amount at a certain rate of interest, compound interest on a certain amount at a certain rate of interest for the third year and the fourth year is 11,520 and 13,000 it is given as 11,520. That means interest on interest is compound interest. That is, you are getting extra money of how much? 2304. You are getting an extra money of 2304 because it's an interest on the interest of third year. So that means 2304 is the interest on 11,520 for 1 year into rate of interest R by 100. Okay, so R will be how much here? By observation, 23 you can observe here, 23 and 115 you can observe here. So 23 into 5 is 115 and 4 into 5 is 20. So this goes here how many times? 5 times. So 5 by 100 is nothing but 1 by 20. So R is nothing but 20%. So you remember the first table what we have seen, how important it's playing a role here. Interest on interest is nothing but the compound interest. Okay, now let's move to the next question. The next question what it says, Sweta invested a sum of rupees 32,000 for 3 years, interest being compounded annually. If the rate of interest for first year, second year and third year is 20, 15 and 10% respectively, what is the interest earned by Sweta? Now what is the principal she has taken? 32,000. For first year, rate of interest is 20%. How to get 20%? 10% into 2. 10% is 3,200 into 2, that's 6,400. So that is 38,400 is the amount at the end of the first year. On this amount at the end of the first year, she is earning an interest of 15%. 15% is nothing but 10% plus 5%. So 10% is 3840 plus 5% is 1920. If you add these two, okay, so 15% will be how much here? This will be how much here? 60, 48, 38 and 19. 38 plus 19 is 57. 57 plus 84 is how much? 57 plus 84. 57 plus 4, 61. 61 plus 80, that's 141. So 41 carry 1, that is 4. So 44,160 is the amount at the end of the second year. Now for the third year, she is earning an interest of 10%. 10% will be 4416. So how much will be getting now? 48,576. So this is the amount what she earned at the end of the 3 years. Okay, and invest is how much? 32,000. Okay, so minus 32,000, that will be how much here? 16,576 is the interest she earned for the first 3 years. Now if you actually observe here, okay, we have not done anything but except additions. So please understand, percentage compound interest and simple interest is very much linked to your percentages. So percentages, you need to be good in simple interest and compound interest. Now let's move to the next question. In the next question what it says, a sum of money invested compound interest triples itself in 16 years. In how many years will it become 27 times itself? Now we have seen that under compound interest, amount at the end of 1 year will become the principal for the next year. If you have taken 100 rupees as a principal, this 100 would become 300 in how many years time? In 16 years of time. Now he is asking 100 would become 27 times in how many years of time? Now amount at the end of 1 year will become the principal for the next year, that is 300 would become 3 times, that is 900 in another 16 years time. Amount at the end of one period, that is 900, will become 3 times the value, that is 2700 in another 16 years of time. So 100 rupees is becoming 2700, that is 27 times itself. In how many years totally? 16, 16, 16, that is 48 years time. Let's move to the next one. In the next one, what he says? Amol borrowed is 75,000 at 16% per annum compound interest. For how many years? For 2 years. He repaid some amount at the end of the first year. How much amount he repaid, we don't know. But at the end of the first year, what will be the amount? 75,000 is the money he borrowed. At what percentage? At 16%. How to get 16%? Now look at the different methods of calculation. 16% you can calculate as 10% plus 6%. Or you look at 16%, that is 16 by 100 into 75,000. 75 by 100 is nothing but what? 3 by 4. So 4 goes here 4 times, 4 into 3 is 12,000. So interest earned is 12,000. So amount will be 75,000 plus 12,000, that is 87,000. So at the end of the first year, okay, amount should be 87,000. He repaid some money. How much money he repaid, we don't know. Minus X. Okay. On this, again interest is calculated for next year at 16%. 16% will be how much here? Into 1.16. This must be equal to how much? 46,400. How we got 1.16? If the principal is 1 rupee, 16% is nothing but 16 by 100, that is 0.16. So 1 plus 0.16 is nothing but 1.16. Okay, if you take 1 rupee, it will become 1.16. If you take 100 rupees, it will become 100 into 1.16, that is 116. Similarly, 87,000 minus X will be 87,000 minus X into 1.16. So here, if you simplify this, 87,000 minus X is equal to 46,400 divided by 1.16. Observe how many times it goes. Observe last two digits. 16 and 8 is 64. Then 16 into 4 is 64. 1 into 4 is 4. So it will become 40,000. 400 with 2 zeros, 40,000. So amount repaid at the end of the first year will be 87,000 minus 40,000, that is 47,000. Now all these times, in all these cases, problems what we have seen, we have seen interest is compounded per annum. There are some cases, okay, let us take an example. For example, when you invest in a bank says it's going to give you 12% rate of interest per annum. Does that mean that if you invest, let us say, 100 rupees in a bank today, after 1 year you will get 112 rupees? Is that true? Or if you go to a bank and check your account after 4 months or after 6 months, will the amount will be 100 rupees or will it be more? It will be more, because bank says it is giving 12% per annum but compounded every quarter. So every quarter interest is calculated, okay, and then added to the principal. Okay, now 12% per annum when you're talking, that means for 1 year, okay, it is 12%. 1 is how many months? 12 months. It is 12%. Meaning for 1 month it will be 1%. For 6 months it will be 6%. For 3 months it will be 3%, like this. That means here interest is compounded more than once a year. Now this formula what you can see, A amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. This is a formula what you can calculate for the compound interest, provided interest is calculated per annum. But there will be some cases where interest is compounded or calculated more than once a year. So if you are calculating more than once a year, then what you have to do is you have to multiply with K and divide by K. What does it mean? That means it is calculated for every 6 months, let us say. It is calculated for every 6 months. How many 6 months are there in a year? The 2 6 months. So the value of k in this case will be 2. Okay. So what will happen? You do 12 percentage divided by 2 whole power n into 2. Suppose if they say it's calculated once every 3 months. If it is calculating once every 3 months, how many 3 months are there in 1 year? There are 4 3 months. So here this will become 4 and this also will become 4. Okay. So whenever you are calculating interest more than once a year, the formula will be the same formula, but here you have to multiply with k here. K is the number of times it is being calculated divided by k. Okay, and whenever compounding is done more than once a year, the rate of interest what has been given, if compounding is done more than once a year, the rate of interest what is given is called as a nominal rate of interest. Okay, let's see one problem on this. Okay, a person invested sum of 30,000 at 24% per annum for 1 year. What should be the interest earned if the interest compound every 6 months? There are two methods of solving. Okay, amount is equals to 30,000 into 1 plus R is 24% divided by compounded every half year, that means every 6 months. How many 6 months are there in 1 year? 2 6 months are there. So K will be 2 into 100 whole power and that is 1 year into 2. You can apply the formula and then solve the problem. Or the other method of doing it is 30,000 is the principal. 24% is for 1 year per annum. For 6 months it will be 12%. So 30,000 at 12% interest earned will be 3,600. So amount at the end of 1 year will be 30,000 plus 3,600, that is 33,600. That will become the principal for the next year. Again on this 12% is calculated. Or what you can do, interest on interest. Interest 3,600 for 1 year for first 6 months. For next 6 months it will be another 3,600 plus 12%. It's not 10, it's 12%. 12% will be how much here? 10% plus 2%. 10% will be 360 plus 2% will be 72. So total interest earned will be how much here? 3,600 plus 3,600 plus 360 plus 72. Okay, that will be how much here? 60 and 72 is 132. 32 carry 1. 36 36 72. 72 plus 1 73. 73 plus 3, that is 76. So interest earned for 1 year will be 7,632. Now let's move to one more concept, that is effective rate of interest. Now what do we mean by effective rate of interest? Now in earlier case, you have seen the nominal rate of interest. Nominal rate of interest is nothing but what? Compounding done more than once a year. That interest called as a nominal rate of interest. Now when you look at effective rate of interest, the rate of interest which will yield simple interest in 1 year equal to the rate of interest obtained on the compound interest at the nominal rate of interest is called the effective rate of interest. That means in a question they say, let us say 12% per annum compounding done every 6 months. So this will be the nominal rate of interest. Now at this nominal rate of interest, if you calculate the interest, you will get some value and some interest you can calculate. That interest for 1 year under simple interest is nothing but called as a effective rate of interest. Now let us understand this with an example. Now what's given? What is the effective rate of interest on a certain sum invested at 18% per annum, compounding done every 4 months. 18% per annum for 1 year, that is 12 months. Then for every 1 month it will be how much here? 1.5 percentage. And every 4 months it would be 6 percentage. So rate of interest is 6 percentage. Now how many 4 months are there in 1 year? 3 4 months. So let us assume the principal is 100 rupees. So for first period on 100 rupees at a rate of 6 percentage, interest will be 6 rupees. For the second period at a rate of 6 percentage, you will get how much? 6 plus 0.36. 6 is the interest for first year plus interest on interest. 6 percentage on 6, that is 0.36, that is nothing but 6.36. For the third period, it will be how much here? For first period it is 6 rupees. For second period it is 6.36. For the third period, it will be how much? 6.36 plus 6 percentage of 6.36. So it will be 6.36 plus 6 percentage of 6.36. That will be how much here? 6 into 6, that is 36. 36 plus 216. So how much will you get here? 3816 with 4 decimals, so it will be 0.3816. So how much will be getting here? 6.7416. This is the interest for third year or third period. The total interest will be the sum of these three. So sum of these will be 6 plus 6 plus 6, that is 18. 18 plus 0.36 plus 0.75. If you observe these two, that will be 1 point, you will get some value. 1.1016. So 18 plus 1.10 will be 19.1016. So approximately you will get an interest of 19.1%. That means if I want to invest an amount under simple interest, where the interest under simple interest and the nominal rate of interest is the same, that means the simple interest rate should be 19.1%. Now let's move to the next question. If the difference between simple interest and compound interest on a sum of money at 15% for 2 years is 360, find the sum. In this case, the difference between SI and CI for 2 years is given as P into R by 100 whole square. Okay, so what it says? Difference is 360. Principal we need to find out. Rate is 15%, 15 by 100 whole square. So 5 goes how many times here? 3 times. 5 goes here 20 times. So P will be how much? 360 into 20 into 20 divided by 3 into 3. That is 9 here. So 9 goes here 40 times. So 4 into 2 into 2, that's how much? 16. 16 with 3 zeros, that is 16,000. So amount principal is 16,000. Now, if the simple interest on a certain sum of money at end of 2 years is 756 and a corresponding value of compound interest is 864, he is asking us to find the sum and the rate of interest. Now let us see how to solve the problem. Now for 2 years, compound interest is 864 and for 2 years, simple interest is given as 756. Then the difference between these two is how much? 864 minus 756. The 64 more than 800 is 44 less than 800. So the difference would be how much here? 108. We know that simple interest remains same for every year. For 2 years, simple interest is 756. That means for 1 year, it would be 756 by 2. That is how much here? 378. And is paying 108 extra for second year, the interest on interest, which is nothing but compound interest. So principal is 378 into 1 year into rate of interest R by 100 is equals to 108. Observation, 3 plus 7 plus 8, that is 18, and this is 1 plus 8, that is 9. Both are divisible by 9. So 9 goes here 12 times, 9 goes here 42 times, 6 goes here 7 times, 6 goes here 2 times. So rate of interest is nothing but 200 by 7. He is asking the rate of interest, that is 200 by 7. He is asking the sum also. Sum is nothing but what? Principal we don't know. Time is 2 years into rate of interest 200 by 7. PNR by 100 is equal to 756. So 2 goes here 378 times. 2 zeros knocked off. So 2 goes here. 188, 189. So P is equals to 189 into 7. 189 into 7 will be, is nothing but 1323. 189 into 7, how can you multiply? You can say 190 into 7. 19 into 7 minus 7. Or you can straight away multiply. 9 into 7 is 63. 3 carries 6. 9 into 8 is, 9 into 7 is 56. 56 plus 6, 62. 2 carries 6. 7 into 1, 7 plus 6, 13. So principal is 1323. Now let's move to the new concept. Does nothing but present value. Now what does the present value mean? Suppose let us say, if I take 100 rupees today at the rate of 10% per annum. That means after 1 year, I need to pay how much here? 110. After 1 year, I need to pay 110. That means can I say this 110 after 1 year, the present value of 110 today is 100 rupees at the rate of 10%. That is what the present value is. Meaning, you take the sum P to consider at the rate of R percentage becomes Y at the end of 1 year and Z at the end of the 2 years. That means the value of P after 1 year will become Y and after 2 years it will become Z. Now we can say the present value of Y after 1 year is P and the present value of Z which is coming after 2 years is nothing but P. This is the present value. And this present value can be calculated either on the simple interest or on the compound interest. Under simple interest, it is given as, is simple like this. Just look at the simple interest formula. SI is nothing but PNR by 100. So amount is nothing but P into 1 plus NR by 100. So present value is nothing but P amount divided by 1 plus NR by 100. This is what it is. So compound interest, again the formula is what? A is equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. So present value P will be equals to A divided by 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. That's what you have to do. Okay. Now let us look at one more concept called installments. Now when you are talking about installment, what exactly the installment mean? Let us see an example. Now let us say you buy a refrigerator today, okay, and then you may not have the entire money to pay. The refrigerator costs, let us say, 1,50,000. Out of this 1,50,000, you may end up only paying 30,000 at the beginning. That's called as a down payment. The down payment is nothing but the amount which you are paying at that moment to take the fridge to your home is called as down payment. Down payment is 30,000. So how much more you have to pay now? 1,20,000. This 1,20,000 you can pay over a period of time. Obviously interest will be calculated on this. And over a period of time when you are paying it, okay, that amount what you are paying may be same in each and every period or in each and every installment. Okay, that's what we are talking about, the equal installments. Okay, now let us say there is no interest. If there is no interest and you got a time period of 12 months, you got a time period of 12 months. So every month how much you have to pay? 1,20,000 divided by 12. Okay, divided by 12 will be how much here? 10,000. That means every month you need to pay amount of 10,000. Suppose if there is no interest. If there is an interest also, you need to add the interest component and then you need to pay the amount. Okay, there is nothing but installments. Now this each installment, okay, is nothing but we have to find the present value. Then after 1 year, if I am paying 110 rupees at what we have seen earlier, the present value will be 100. That's what we have seen this in the earlier slide. Okay. Now when you are doing after 2 years, the present value will be x divided by 1 plus r by 100 whole square. That is under compound interest. Okay. Like this, when you are calculating, then you can find the sum of all installments. You can find the present value of it, and the value of each installment you can calculate by this formula. So please make down this note. This is a formula for to calculate each installment. Now let us see an example on this. Okay. Now what it says, what equal annual installment paid at the end of each year will clear a debt of 9680 due after 4 years under simple interest. Now to solve the problem, let us look like this. Instead of taking 9680, let us take a principal of 100 rupees. The 100 rupees you are paying in installment when you are paying at the end of each year. So your first year, second year, third year and fourth year. At the end of the fourth year, you will clear the loan. At the end of the first year, okay, when you are paying the amount with the rate of interest, and how many years before you are paying here? 1 year, 2 year, and this is the end of the fourth year, this is 1 year. So you are paying 3 years interest. Rate of interest how much here? 14%, and we are calculating on the simple interest. For 1 year it is 14%, for 3 years it will be how much? 42%. That means if I am paying an installment of 100 at the end of the year, okay, actually the 3 years interest, that is 42% rupees, okay, which will be equivalent to 142. Now after 1 more year, at the end of the second year, you are paying another 100 rupees. At the end of the second year, when you are paying 100 rupees, that means how many years before you are paying? You are paying 2 years before. Okay, at the end of the second year, at the end of the third year, at the end of the fourth year. So end of second year to end of third year 1 year, end of third year to end of fourth year another 1 year, so totally 2 years. For each year rate of interest 14%, for 2 years it will be 28%. So if you are paying 100 rupees, that is actually 128. Now third installment of 100. At the end of third year when you are paying 100, meaning third year to fourth year, you are paying 1 year interest, that will be 114. At the end of the fourth year, okay, there is no interest because the amount is due after 4 years, so that will be no interest on that. So if you actually observe how much you have paid, 142 plus 128 plus 114 plus 100, that will be how much here? 42 plus 28, that is 70, 84 plus 1, that's 584. If you are paying an installment of 100 rupees, actually you are paying 584. $584. So what is the total amount you are paying? 142 plus 128 plus 114 plus 100. So 42 plus 28 is 70. 70 plus 14, that's 84. 84 and 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 484. That means you are paying a total amount of So the total amount you paid 142 plus 128 plus 114 plus 100. 42 plus 28 plus 14, that is nothing but 70 plus 14, 84. 84 and 1, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 484. That means if you are paying an installment of 100 rupees, total amount you paid is 484. When installment is 100, total amount paid is 484. But actually the amount that you are paying is 9680. So what is each installment? Okay, by observation 484 twice is 968. So this goes 20 times. So amount of installment will be 2000 rupees. So each installment will be 2000 rupees. Now let's move to the next question. In the next question, what he says, Anup borrows 7500 at the rate of 20% per annum, interest being compounded annually. If he wants to repay in 2 equal annual installments, what is the value of each installment? Now let us see here. Anup borrows how much? 7500. At the end of 1 year, he is supposed to pay how much? 20% rate of interest, that is 10% into 2, 10% is 750 into 2 is 1500. So he is supposed to pay 9000. He is supposed to pay 9000. But what he says, he is paying some money. How much is that money? We don't know. We will take the X money he is paying. Out of this X money, balance is 9000 minus X. This 9000 minus X is paying after 1 more year. That means on the balance amount, interest has to be calculated. At 20%, amount would have been 1.2. Okay. And the second installment is also same as first installment, which is equal to X. So how much you will be getting here? 9000 into 1.2 minus 1.2 goes to other side, that will become 2.2x. So the value of X installment will be 9000 into 1.2 divided by 2.2. So decimal cancel. 2 goes here. 6 times 2 goes here. 11 times. So each installment will be 9000 into 6. 9 into 6, 54,000 divided by 11. Okay. This would be the each installment. Before we wind up, let us have a quick recap of what we have seen. Okay, we have started the chapter with a different terminology. What are different terminology that is involved? We have started with the principal. What do you mean by the principal? Principal is nothing but the money that has been borrowed or lent. Is nothing but the principal. Then we have seen something called interest. Interest is nothing but what? Simple interest and compound interest. Okay. Now what is the interest? The money earned, okay, on the principal is nothing but the interest. This interest can be earned either through a simple interest or through a compound interest. Then we have seen the rate of interest. The rate of interest is nothing but what? At what rate the money has been given or borrowed. The money has been lent or borrowed. Then we have seen N is nothing but the number of years. The number of years is what here? The time period for which the money has been lent. Then we have seen amount. Amount is nothing but what? Amount is nothing but principal plus interest. This is true for both simple interest as well as compound interest. So we have started with a different terminology. Then we went to simple interest. Under simple interest, what is the important point we have seen? And the formula. Now what is the formula we have seen? It is nothing but PNR by under principal into time into rate of interest by 100. Okay. And we have seen the principal. Or the interest remains the same. That means under simple interest, what we observed is the principal doesn't change. The principal remains constant for any year or for any number of years. Okay. Since the principal is remaining same, the interest also remains the same. Okay. Then we move to compound interest. Under compound interest, we have seen a formula. The formula is A is equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. the standard formula, but we have seen that. Okay, is it necessary for us to apply the formula always? Not necessary. Without a formula also we can solve the problems. How to solve the problem? For that we need to understand the concept of compound interest. What is the compound interest formula concept? Amount at the end of 1 year will become the principal for the next year. Okay, so what does it mean? The principal keeps changing. How it changes? Amount at the end of year will become the principal for the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year. So I'll just repeat. Amount at end of the year will become the principal for the beginning of the next year. Okay. Since the principal keeps on changing, the interest also changes. So under compound interest, what is the important point we have seen? The principal changes and the interest also changes. Okay. So from here we moved on the comparison between simple interest and compound interest. So what's the comparison? For 1 year, what we observe? For 1 year, simple interest is equal to compound interest. So when you want to find the compound interest, what you can do? For 1 year, you can find the simple interest and add the interest to the principal, you will get the compound interest or compound amount. That will become the principal for the next year. So the most important point here is, for 1 year, simple interest and compound interest are the same. And then for 2 years, what is the difference? For 2 years, the difference between SI and CI is what? The difference between SI and CI is nothing but, it is given as P into R by 100 whole square. That's the formula. Without a formula, how to solve the problem? Calculate the interest for 1 year, interest on interest. On this interest for 1 year, again calculate interest. Okay, that interest will give us the difference between SI and CI for 2 years. Okay friends, now what is the difference between SI and CI for 2 years? For 3 years, the difference between SI and CI for 3 years is nothing but P into R by 100 whole square into R by 100 plus 3. This is the difference between simple interest and compound interest for 3 years. Either you can use a formula or you can calculate by the standard method. Calculating interest on interest. Keep on doing it for 3 years, then you'll get the difference between SI and CI for 3 years. Okay. Then what we have seen? Then we have seen that, okay, the difference between compound interest for the kth year and the compound interest for the k plus 1 year is equal to the interest for 1 year on compound interest for the kth year. That means if you are looking at, let us say, third year and fourth year. Third year and fourth year. You have the interest for the third year, then you have the interest for the fourth year. On this third year interest, again calculate interest. Okay, that interest what you are going to calculate will give us the difference between third year and fourth year. That is nothing but interest on interest is nothing but compound interest. From here then we move on to the compounding done more than once a year. If compounding done is more than once a year, then what is the formula that we have to use? A is equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. This is our standard formula for the compound interest. Compounding done more than once a year, it will be n into k divided by R divided by k into n. What is k here? Number of times which is being done. For example, if it is done for every 6 months, that means how many 6 months are there in 1 year? The 2 6 months. So the value of k will be 2. In this case, value of k is 2. If compounding is done in every 4 months, how many 4 months are there in 1 year? 3 4 months are there. So value of k will be 3. If you are having 3 months, compounding done every 3 months, how many 3 months are there in 1 year? There are 4 3 months. So the value of k will be 4. Okay. Then we have seen compounding done every moment. How to get the compounding done every moment? So it is A is equals to P e to the power of NR by 100. A is equals to P into e to the power of NR by 100. What is the value of E? So what is the value of E? E is a constant. Okay. Normally the value of E is given in the problem. So formula is what? P in A is equals to P into e power NR by 100, where N is the number of years, R is the rate of interest, P is the principal. Okay, then what we have seen? Then we went to the present worth. So what is the present worth meaning? Suppose 100 rupees today at the rate of 10%, after 1 year it would become how much? 110. Okay. Now after 1 year the amount is 110. That 110 amount at the present value of that 110 is 100 rupees. Okay, that is what the present worth is. And this present worth is calculated under simple interest as well as under compound interest. Under compound interest, we have the formula as A is equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. So from here, the present worth is how much? A divided by 1 plus R by 100 whole power n. Similar in the simple interest, what is that we have seen? Amount is equals to principal into 1 plus NR by 100. So present worth will be A divided by 1 plus NR by 100. So we have seen the present worth. From the present worth, then we move on to what? On installments. Okay, and we talk about equal installments. On the equal installments, what is the formula that we have seen? Okay, on the compound interest, we have seen it as PR divided by 100 into 1 minus 100 divided by 100 plus R whole power n. The equal installments we have seen. Okay, so friends, these are the things what we have seen in simple interest and compound interest. So we have recapped whatever we have seen. So after going back to your place, then you need to practice on